everybody. This is Laura with Stuff I Find Interesting. Fucking up another intro yet again. Yay! I have an appointment in like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I don't fucking know. It's going to be soon. So, I thought I'd try to crank out one of these like real quick and see how fast we can talk about some interesting stuff. So, we're going to start off with some shrinkage of my picture so you can see what I'm talking about. I hope everybody's having a good week. This one is a little bit rushed, but I don't want to leave too long between each episodes because then people disappear and go, "Oh, Laura, you're lame." I mean, yeah, I am, but all right. So we have an Armenian woman. Look at these beautiful pictures. So these are pictures from 1910, and they were made using different types of filters that were pretty like way ahead of its time because look, you can see this person's in color sitting on the Black Sea. Just incredible photos. Here we have some artistic casting. We've got a woman sitting and watching the river. Chapel. Going to the chapel and we're View of Tiflis, one of my favorite cities. Just ancient, gorgeous. You could see part of it is like perched kind of like on a cliff kind of thing. Just wonderful picture. Look at this guy. He's like, yeah. So this is from modern day Uzbekistan. At the time, it was considered Russia because remember, Russia used to be like this big, huge thing of different sort of peoples. My brain's not working. I just got home from work, so I'm a little brain dead. It was not a hard day, though. It was a good day, I've got to say. And then we have some alternators. So this will be in the links. You can look at it, bug out over old pictures, but I thought it was rather cool. We have some more old pictures, and it was inspired by this guy. Look at this guy. Look at him. He is William Carrick. And he opened a studio, and this is not William Carrick. This is a picture that he took. So what this guy did is he opened a studio in Russia. It's not Russia anymore, but at the time it was Russia. And kind of related to the last thing I just showed you. And nobody wanted to go to his studio. He had all this photography equipment, and I get the feeling in reading the article that he was wealthy enough to where he could do this and almost treat it as a hobby, like he didn't have to do it to feed his family or whatever. So what he would do is he would travel around and he would grab people off the streets and say, "Come on into my studio so I can take your picture." And this would have been in the 1800s. So these are people in the 1800s, never seen a camera, probably, most likely. He's wandering around a town and he's saying, "Hey, come on into my studio so I can take your picture." Here we have a milkmaid. Look at the bare feet. A monk kind of guy. Look at this guy. A knife grinder. He's strangely attractive, but his eyes are kind of close together. This is kind of interesting. We have a religious man blessing a shepherd. This one is great. Holding out the baskets. And this is the last one I'll show you, and then I'll move on. But you can see this guy's, you can practically hear him. He's like, "Get your," what has he got up there? Looks like some sort of beer. "Get your beer here. Get your beer." Right? You can hear it, right? Only it would be in Russia, so it would be obviously sound like a lot different. So that's pretty cool, right? He just had regular, everyday people come in. So these are people that just would have been around at the time doing regular, normal, everyday people stuff. I didn't read the article. I don't know if he ever became successful. The Ballet Russes. We've talked about the Ballet Russes before. This is from the early 1900s, and it inspired all kinds of stuff. It inspired art, fashion, movies that, silent films was starting to be a thing. So just his influence was felt everywhere. And we've got these cool pictures, sketches from the original Ballet Russe. Just look at that. That's fantastic, right? I don't know why everybody's got their boobs hanging out. This is great. Oh, man, I love this. Look at that. Like, they're doing it, man. They've got it going on. More costumes. So just absolutely incredible stuff. And at this period in time, there were small groups of people who were in society who were well off enough that they could go to the Ballet Russe and see what was up, see what was going on. These are more sketches. Just incredible stuff. So this is done by the artist, the guy who designed the costumes and everything. He did other things. Like this is a scene, set design that he did. André Delfort was his name. The Gilded Century, somebody's blog, usually wartime and post-war America, via its magazine, sometimes other stuff. This person's pretty contemporary. Look, 34 minutes ago they posted this. The Allies maintained a network of radio stations, Marines on Okinawa, Navy ships at sea, Russian reports from Siberia, Chinese reports from the Asiatic mainland. The RAF maintained this one in Canada, and everywhere locations were selected for value, not for convenience of personnel. So they're basically saying, yeah, you're going to go into like the cold. A beautiful bird, red-winged blackbird. Faye dancer pays for sliding into base with her bare legs protected only by a skirt rather than the male player's pants. Strawberry marks are painfully fresh. I don't know what that word might be. That's a pretty interesting. So this person posts almost every day. And it's all things from a specific kind of era. Like World War II. Just after World War II, we have Weird Tales. That's kind of a cool one. He's got his little turkey vulture. I saw a turkey vulture last week. I was driving. I was driving with my friend Nancy. I wasn't personally driving. I was in the passenger seat, looking out the window. Big old turkey vulture right next to the window. Like, freaking, like this tall. Looking at me like, are you dead? Because you look like you might be kind of yummy. And I had to say, no, Mr. Bird, not dead yet. Someday, not today. So there's 2,000 pages you can go through. This is another blog that I thought was kind of cute. This person is not posting every day. This person is not posting anymore. This looks like it might have been a COVID kind of passion project. And then, life went back to life. And this person probably went on and started doing other things. But this has some Ballet Russe stuff in it. We can see. Just some. I kind of dig black and white every once in a while, right? It's kind of easy on the eyes. All right, next we have the geometric landscapes of Lorenz Stower. So this is in 1567. And this guy randomly made these pictures, which are so far ahead of their time. Like, they're just... Nobody was doing shit like this. I'm cursing a lot today, aren't I? Nobody was doing stuff like this. These pictures are just incredible. So they're landscapes, but with geometry. So he was very into math, very into geometry. And his pictures, it's like they tickle some part of your brain, right? Like when you go to sleep and you dream of all these complicated dream worlds, and then you wake up and that little tickle is still there, but you can't quite pull it all together. These geometric landscapes cause my brain to tickle. There's something familiar about them, and that's probably what he was aiming for. We have this sort of fantastical background with these geometric shapes that are not doing anything. They're just there. Fascinating stuff. This one has like a crazy ball hanging down. Just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. It will be in the links. This is from the Public Domain Review. Public Domain Review has lots and lots of wonderful things to bug out about. I often do. Here, if we go to collections, we can see we have all kinds of fun stuff. A dictionary of modern slang. Some of these we've looked at. I don't know how often they update this. I should look into that. This is the Edwin Newman collection, and I share this, I guess, kind of because I've been thinking a lot lately about the Middle East, and I'm not going to comment much on it at all, except that it's a horrible situation on all sides. Lots of innocent people getting hurt. But these are aerial shots of Palestine before Palestine, that particular part of Palestine, became Israel. So I thought that this was interesting to kind of look at. And you can kind of go through and look at the different photographs, and there's all kinds of photographs in here. They don't look to be particularly well sorted or explained, but looking at them, just this fragile piece of land that everybody's fighting over. It's crazy to me. I don't have good feelings about it, guys. I really don't. But that's okay. I'm 50 now, so I've lived half my life. It's been pretty good. Maybe I'll get drafted. I think I'm probably too old, but wouldn't that be a hoot? Honey, I've been drafted. Okay, this is the Manhattan Purchase, where we bought land from the Indians. We bought New York. We bought Manhattan, formerly known as New Amsterdam. And these are pictures that romanticize, us showing all these goods and things that we were trading, and these baubles to get Manhattan. And the reality is that there's two different things happening here. So the Americans think that they're buying Manhattan with these goods that they're exchanging. The Native Americans don't have the same concept of land ownership or even how they trade, barter, their value system, like money, completely different than ours. So there's this transaction going on, but two different parties are thinking there's two different things going on. So one party's like, yeah, I'm going to buy the land. And the Indians are like, oh, this is cool. You're sharing this with me? Okay, I like it. Sure, why not? Oh, you're sharing this other thing with me? Okay, I like it. Thank you. Because in their mind, you can't buy land. Land cannot be bought. It just is. The land is the land. It's not something that can be divvied up. So this kind of makes fun of these drawings and how they romanticize the whole thing, and it really kind of goes on. It says, however this meeting took place, these visualizations of it are nothing more than the artist's overcooked ideas, without exception fitting in with the generally accepted beads and baubles notion of the event. Despite the long existence of more realistic and fact-based presumptions concerning what was traded, the belief that Manhattan was bought for trinkets is not easily shaken, and such shop-worn formula illustrations go a long way to make sure of that. So, and then also about Manhattan, this is a great article about the deforestation of Manhattan and how much of it was how there was millions and millions and millions of trees on Manhattan, and they all got cut down. They got cut down for structures. They got cut down for ships. They got cut down to help build up the land over top of the garbage piles on the edge of the water, which they didn't call them garbage piles. I forget what they called them. But we used a lot of trees. Wood was so vital to the material life of the town that the Common Council had to take steps to regulate the growing commerce in it. Regarding a dispute over the right to cut wood, the council ruled in 1657 that anyone was permitted to cut trees on an unfenced property, but if the property were fenced, no one but the owner had that right. In 1677, the council stipulated that the cord as the legal measure of cut wood, 128 cubic feet, or a stack of 4-foot pieces 8 feet long and 4 feet high. And then they had people that they hired that went out and made sure that everything was honest. But at this time, there were people who were saying, are we cutting down all these trees? Maybe we should leave some, you think? And the answer is no. No, cut them all down. Cut them all down. Manhattan was never completely deforested by the Europeans, though there are indications that this may have largely been accomplished once before the island's Native American inhabitants in the centuries prior to the demographic disaster that followed the 1492 ecological invasion, after which the forest gradually returned again, and some remnant of the forest of 400 years ago still stands in Inwood Hill Park at the northernmost extremity of the island. Oh, we're going to have to look at that. Inwood Hill Park. Okay. We'll check that out. Inwood Hill Park. Let's look up ancient growth. Ancient trees. It looks like there's ancient trees there. Nothing I really see that jumps out that I want to talk about, so we're going to keep it moving. We're going to move into conspiracy land. Yeah, we're in conspiracy land already. Mattress firm CEO says the company will close stores in close proximity to each other months after wild conspiracy theories about its massive store count circulated online. So there are all these mattress firms, right? And there's a conspiracy theory that they're just money laundering places, and that's why there's so many of them. And that's why there's so many of them so close together. For example, in my town, in like a 7-mile radius, I think there's like three or four mattress stores. Maybe even more. 2 of them are definitely the chain type, and then the other ones I think are like regular, normal, mom and pop kind of mattress stores. But they have 3,272 stores. They are the largest specialty mattress retailer. Uh-oh. Do you hear that? Oh, no. That was my cat getting sick. Yes, it was. Let me make sure she's okay. You okay, babies? Yeah? Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Hi, Shibbles. Come here. You haven't met this cat. She's, come here. Come on. Want to come up? Oh, I got you. We're going to get you on camera. Yes, we are. We're going to get you on camera. Say hi to the camera. Okay. Does not want to say hi to the camera. Let's talk about the big balls of Costa Rica. I think it's Costa Rica. Is it Costa Rica? It is Costa Rica. So there are these big balls in Costa Rica. They're called the Diqui spheres. And people don't really know why they were made. They're still being found. Some of them have been buried quite a fair amount into the soil. This is a little article about them. And in the 1930s, they were originally found. There was a company, they were clearing out some land so they could grow some fruit. And they were like, holy cow, there are these big balls. And they were made through a combination of controlled fracture, pecking, and grinding. And they would work these big balls down. They were likely the product of an extinct civilization of people that existed in the area between 700 CE and 1530 CE. So that's a really, really long time ago. Today, virtually all the spheres have been taken from their original locations. Many are prized lawn ornaments, of course. One would expect that. This is a photographer that I really like, and he paints or he takes photos of stuff from high up. We've probably looked at his stuff before. We might have even looked at this very photo series, the same photo series that I'm bringing up, but it's so gorgeous that I'm bringing it up again. I don't know if you've ever tried to photograph snow at night and try to get it to look like cool, but it's a very hard thing to do. This is just incredible, these photos. They look like they're from another planet, but they're not from another planet. This looks like a group of, the way the picture's canted, it sort of looks like they're walking up the hill. This will be in the links. You can check out all his photography. This one might be my favorite. This one right here. Yep, we're going to save that image. Save! I saved the timeline of Lewis and Clark, and I feel like I had really profound things to say about it, and I'm now drawing a complete blank. But here it is. The thing that I find so interesting is that Sacagawea was like pregnant and walking like thousands of miles from like one coast to the other, and then like reunites with her brother, has a baby. Like she really kind of did an amazing thing. So she gave birth to a son in 1805, and she joined the trail at I'm trying to see where it is. Okay, we're spending too much time on something that I don't remember what I meant to say, so it's there. You can look at it, but it's fascinating to see the different dates and the stuff that kind of happened. It's fascinating to think about. This is another weird little PDF that I found, and there are some rad architectural thingies in here that I like a lot. Take a look at that. There was one in particular, though. So these are antique prints. I don't know what that is. Well, I mean, it's an organ of some kind, but I'm not sure. It looks like it's in a cave, of all places. And perhaps it was. So we have some interesting pictures for you to look at. I like these pictures because it reminds us, like, let's say, for example, let's take this picture. This is, where is this? Looks like it's in France somewhere. But it reminds us that people have been building houses and building structures and eating food and waking up and going to bed and inventing stuff and making stuff and dying and being born for a very long time. Doing interesting things for a very long time. Pigeon towers. Somehow I ended up in Pigeon Tower land looking at the pigeon towers. So in the Middle East, these are quite popular. Well, not as popular now as they were in the past. But there are pigeon houses and pigeon coops they're historical because they're so old and beautiful. Interior of the traditional pigeon house in Yazd province, Iran. Look at that. It's nicer than my house. Right? Agricultural cave spaces. Here's another pigeon area. So this is in Cappadocia. And this whole space is for pigeons. All these little individual areas. So I'm thinking probably each individual area was probably for a specific person. You know, like Joe's pigeons were over in this spot and Sarah's pigeons were over in another spot. I could be wrong about that. When pigeon farmers have caught a pigeon, they tame it and make it feed with them. Then the farmer smears its wings with sweet oil and releases it to join other birds outside. The sweet scent of that oil makes the wild birds the possession of the owner of the tame bird, for all the rest are attracted by the fragrance and they settle in the pigeon house. They also had beehives in Cappadocia. We think of caves as being so primitive, but these folks were really, really ahead of their time. Let's look at some of these crazy pigeons. These are the pigeons you would see in New York City that you would feed your hot dog to. Now we're starting to get a little fancy. So these are pigeons that have been bred for specific features. And you can see they're going to start to look funny real soon. So far, they're kind of normal looking. Oh, this one's got fluffy feet. Fluffy feet. More fluffy feet. Yeah, so there are pigeons that are bred where their chest sticks up and their head is... It looks like an exaggeration, but they really stand like that. Here we have some more of those pigeons with the big breast. Each picture wilder than the one before. There you have it. This has got to be a joke. I can't imagine that this is real. I can't imagine that this cannot be real. Wet pants denim. Pants with a stain in the crotch. On purpose. For $85. Like, is this real? Like, what? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Somebody needs to find out if this is real. It looks real to me. To finish off, we're going to look at some architecture, if it'll let me. I want this house. There's just something about it. I dig it. This house has a swimming pool above a swimming pool. So there's a swimming pool, and there's a swimming pool above the swimming pool. So you can look up and be like, oh, look, there's people swimming. Two swimming pools. I don't like this one as much. I don't know. It's the second swimming pool. That's kind of cool, though. I do like the outdoor, the open living kind of situation. This is the wavy house. I am running out of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave all this stuff in the links for you to look at. There's just two other houses. Here's some houses in Palm Springs. I was lucky enough to hang out some houses like this when I lived out that way. houses out there, definitely like the mid-century houses, very cool. So, terrible show today, but whatever. Interesting. We're keeping it going. Next one will be 45. I hope everybody has a great week. And I'm going to do therapy. And then I'm going to launch this. And we can all hang out and chat. All right? So, with that,